Welcome to Ask of an Art, episode 240 of the series where I answer your questions. If you have a question you want to answer on next week's episode, leave it down in the comments section below. Hit the like button while you're there. Let's get into it with our first question from Away. It says, how do you feel about buying fake clones to make a clone army? Generally, this is not something that I think I would be doing, buying knockoff LEGO Star Wars clone troopers to make my clone army, but I do see the flip side of it. It's a lot cheaper. LEGO Star Wars clone troopers have gotten incredibly expensive over the last couple years, and on top of that, LEGO has made it incredibly difficult to get some of them. If you look at the Clone Command Station minifigure pack, LEGO is not meeting demand. They are not communicating about their lack of meeting demand, and the limit on purchases of 5 makes it impossible to build a clone army for many people. So yeah, from that perspective, it kind of makes sense to go out and buy whatever alternatives there are out there. The other way I look at this is when LEGO is producing clone troopers that look like knockoffs, you may as well be paying knockoff prices. Elliot Frost says, do you think that LEGO purposefully delays making desired minifigures so they can continue making more money off of them via Bricklink sales? For example, Captain Rex, Zeb, Jango Fett, etc. So for those that don't know, LEGO a few years back bought the website Bricklink, which is basically the biggest secondary market of LEGO items that's out there. Like, I mean, eBay and whatnot and Mercari all exist, you know, but LEGO specifically, Bricklink is the one, right? And so LEGO basically bought this, and now every time someone sells something on that website, LEGO gets, I believe, 3% of that sale. Obviously, some of that 3% go into the cost of running the site, but they are making money off of their secondary market, which does introduce that conflict of interest that you've brought up. And it is impossible to know whether or not they are purposefully leaving out certain things because they can continue to make money off of them on Bricklink because they're so expensive. Like, every time a $100 minifig sells on Bricklink, LEGO makes $1 or whatever, you know? And they don't have to do anything for that, relatively. They don't have to be producing anything, shipping anything, designing anything. They just, like, exist, you know? So it's possible that is happening. I doubt it's happening. I don't think the sales on Bricklink are in a high enough quantity to where, you know, when you compare to how many LEGO sets would sell, that it really is even close to what they would make on selling an actual product. But it probably doesn't hurt, you know, to just make money doing nothing like that, you know, like compared to creating a product, and so you don't have to worry about it. Having that strong secondary market for LEGO means they'll continue to make money on products they've already sold and don't sell anymore. Like, that's good for them, right? And it also probably is good for LEGO fans in a way because it keeps LEGO interested in having a strong secondary market. So for people that go out and buy LEGO from an investment perspective, I suppose, or just people like me that more generally collect, like I definitely have things that are investments, but just from the perspective of like my collection not, you know, being worth nothing one day, it probably bodes well that LEGO has a vested interest in the secondary market also being strong. So there's that perspective on it. And then the problem I really have with LEGO owning Bricklink is when it comes to scalpers. This can be seen very easily with the 40558 Clone Command Station pack, where in Australia, someone has 200 of them, new and sealed box for $30 a piece. And that's where you can buy the most of these sets. You can't buy that many from LEGO. You can only buy 5 at a time on LEGO.com, and then they shut you off. But LEGO doesn't care because all the people that keep buying them and just flogging them on Bricklink are making LEGO more money on the ones that they already sold, you know? I don't know. That's where I see it as a bigger issue, is the scalping issue. And LEGO has the power to kind of shut this down. I don't know. That's another thing that's been on my mind. I haven't really thought it through too much, but like, it clearly can't be good that LEGO's also making money from people scalping, because that completely de-incentivizes them from doing anything about the issue. Asian says, do you think the currently exclusive minifigs from the UCS Razor Crest will appear next year, or like the Mace Windu from the Republic gunship and fighter tank, will be done even better? Look, I would love for the Mythrol to be done even better, because I think the current LEGO Mythrol is really subpar, and I think when you look at a set like the Mos Eisley Cantina, in which every single alien, like there were 7 aliens or something in that set that got completely unique molds for their heads, and that was a $350 set, but for a $600 set for one alien minifigure they couldn't do a special mold for, that is just wrong. I would love that, but there's no way they're going to do that. I think that Mando helmet print will make its way into a Mandalorian with Beskar armor, so that whenever we get another Mando with Beskar armor will get that updated helmet print on it and it will look much better. But I do not expect to see that exact Season 1 Mandalorian in another set. I think that'll stay exclusive to the UCS Razor Crest. And to me, the only set next year that, you know, given that they're going to be making Season 3 Mando sets and Queel is dead and the Mithril probably not going to be around too much, but who knows. The only set that would really make a ton of sense for these two characters to show up in would be the Advent Calendar. So maybe it shows up there, but I don't expect to see those characters in sets at any point next year outside of maybe an Advent Calendar. I just don't see where it fits with so much going on, so much fan demand for other things, and like you should make a Migs Mayfield minifigure before you re-release a Mithril minifigure, you know, that's just my 2 cents on it. So I would bet against it, and I certainly wouldn't think that they would come out with figures even better than the figures in the Razor Crest. Rhino's Flip says, what do you think LEGO's perspective is on platforms like Whatnot? So these are platforms that LEGO doesn't own, like Bricklink. And the only thing I can assume LEGO, like generally as a company and their higher ups would think about something that isn't Bricklink, where people sell, you know, their Lego on, is that how do we get them to use Bricklink? How do we get them to use our platform? You know, that's got to be their perspective, is they see it as a bit of a competition to them. And I suppose it also just helps create a general interest in the product, you know, but I think they would see it as somewhat of a competitor to their own thing. I don't know if you guys have any other opinions on that, but that's the only thing that I could really think of them thinking, you know? Gnome Senpai says, do you think LEGO will ever make more affordable UCS sets for like $100 to $200? Because I really can't afford sets for $700. So I have a couple of different opinions on this, right? If you can't afford the $700 set, then they're probably not making it for you. Ultimately, unfortunately, LEGO is making products for people that probably just have more money than a lot of their older consumer base that used to buy their products when like their most expensive set was $300 or $400, right? Like times have changed in a way for them. They're kind of edging into a different market there. Certainly for me, in a way, with YouTube, I've gotten very lucky to be able to afford all the LEGO I want to buy through YouTube, right? But like 10 years ago, this would have been like a travesty for me. I would have been like, oh, I'll never own a UCS AT-AT. I'll never own the UCS Millennium Falcon, which was the case, you know, in 2007. I was never going to own the UCS Millennium Falcon. That was only $500 at the time. And now their most expensive sets are $850. So it's very much expanded. And there's so many more of those higher end, hyper expensive sets. But to circle back, will LEGO make more affordable $100 to $200 UCS sets? They do that. They do have $200 UCS sets that unfortunately recently increased in price to $240, but it's still in the general price range that you're describing, I would say. They do have kind of a lack of UCS Star Wars sets between that $100 and $200. They actually, I would call the 18 plus sets, the, I don't know, Probe Droid, the Death Star Trash Compactor, Yoda's Hut, the Mandalorian helmet, like any of the helmet sets really, like all of these 18 plus black box art sets are essentially UCS sets. They're just not branded as such. They're collector sets, display sets, and I think that's like what that is, right? And so specifically with your example, saying you can't afford a set for $700, let's take the Razor Crest, for example, that's $600. That is out of your price range. But for your $100 to $200 price range, LEGO's not also going to be selling another smaller UCS Razor Crest, but they do sell a Razor Crest at the $100 to $200 price point. So I think LEGO actually does a very good job of having things for different price points for different people. I do see that you want that premium $700 set for that $200 price or whatever, $150 price, but I just don't think LEGO's going to give that to you. They definitely are trying to separate what you're getting for your money in a way, and that separation is only becoming larger as of recent years. Little conspiracy here, maybe the reason they don't bring MIDI scale back is if you sell a MIDI scale displayable, really nice Razor Crest or really nice looking Millennium Falcon for under $100, well, that's going to cut into your UCS sales of your $600 to $800 sets. And so slight conflict of interest there, maybe. I don't know. Phoenix Customs wants to know what would my choices be for the 2023 minifigure packs. So potentially 2 minifig packs next year at the $15 price tag. I'm sure they'll be just as difficult to get next year as they were this year, assuming they exist. I have heard varying things from different sources as to whether or not minifigure packs will even come out in 2023 at the $15 price point. I think it would be a travesty if they didn't. It is something that LEGO Star Wars should absolutely be continuing on to a year for eternity, because it's a great way to either get some army builder characters, or I think minifig packs, much like they do with Harry Potter or superheroes or whatever, are much better suited for getting some individual named characters out there that we wouldn't really be getting otherwise. Like if you did a clone commander pack with some of the 501st clone commanders for $15, it would sell very nicely. People would pick a couple up, ideally just one, right? Like that's all you would need. The limit of 5 would actually make sense, unlike with the Clone Command Station where it's very clearly gonna play into those army builders and you're gonna want more than 5. But if you're making minifig packs that people don't want to buy more than 5 of, all of a sudden it's not a problem. So I really think minifig packs should change focus and go for a named character approach. And so to me, if I was putting out 2023 minifig packs, I'd go with like a 501st commander with like a Captain Rex, 5s, and like an Echo or something, you know, just 3 blue commander clone troopers that are pretty cool in a pack together. Ideally 4, but you know, LEGO won't give as many minifigs to Star Wars as they will to the other minifig packs at the same exact price point. It's kind of insane. And for the other minifig pack, I would love to see them do a Return of the Jedi Anniversary minifig pack. Again, you'd probably only get 3 minifigs. Unfortunately, it seems to be really up in the air as to whether or not the packs are even coming next year. And at this time last year, we had pretty strong rumors that they were. So if I had to bet money, I would bet on them not happening, but I hope they are. Eric wants to know thoughts on LEGO VIP being offered at Target until the end of January 2023. You know, it's never a bad thing to get something extra for something you're gonna buy anyway. So I guess if you're gonna buy LEGO at Target, getting that extra 1 VIP point for every dollar you spend isn't gonna hurt you. However, it's a little bit of a sham. They're really putting up a front that's like, yeah, LEGO VIP at Target. Hey, you're gonna get some VIP points. Yeah, you're gonna be set up nice, eh? And then what people I don't think realize is that the VIP points you're getting at Target is at a rate of 1 and 1/6.5. I don't know how to say that, but you're getting only 1 point versus 6.5 points when you would spend at the LEGO store. So it's not VIP points the same as the LEGO store. Maybe the best way to explain it is when you spend $100 at the LEGO store during a non-double VIP points period, you get 650 VIP points, and that will net you a $5 reward. To get that same $5 reward spending money at Target from LEGO VIP, you have to spend $650. So you can see you have to spend 6.5 times more money at Target than LEGO to get the same amount of VIP point reward value. So yeah, it's kind of dumb. It's not something I'm going to take advantage of. I talked to a friend of mine that's smarter than me, and he was basically like, yeah, they're probably doing this so that they can see just how many LEGO people are buying LEGO also from Target that use the VIP program or something in that vein would make sense. It's just a little bit of market research kind of thing with the guise of free things, but it's really just free things at a massively reduced rate. So is it a bad thing? Can it possibly be a bad thing? No, but is it what you probably think it is? Also no. Andrew says, with customization being popular in sets such as the Creator Camaro and Mustang, do you think we could ever see customizable or retrofit/conversion sets for existing sets such as X-Wings with customizable colors or AT-ACT conversion set for the existing AT-AT? So I highly doubt LEGO will ever release something that is a separate set that you would buy for an existing set like that for LEGO Star Wars. Like the best idea that I think like the community has ever had for this, someone commented on my channel, I think, was basically like a TIE Fighter kit where you would buy like the main like fuselage of the TIE Fighter and it would come with maybe 2 sets of wings or whatever, and then they would sell like basically DLC packs that'd be like TIE Bomber add-on pack that would go with the main pack, and then you could make a TIE Bomber or TIE Defender add-on pack. Make a TIE Defender, you just need these extra pieces that cost $10. You know, that sort of thing I think is one of the ones that made the most sense and would have been the coolest. I just don't know what would work the best. I mean, as far as X-Wings go, they've kind of done it a couple times in the sets with just a few small pieces to be able to change it from Luke Skywalker's X-Wing to like another person's X-Wing. They've done that, but on the scale that like the Creator Camaro and Mustang do, they certainly have not. And I don't know like what would be cool enough to do that with. Like, I'm sure there are some ideas out there. I would be interested in y'all's in the comments. The AT-ACT to AT-AT is one of the ones that makes the most sense to me because you just basically need like some orange panels, I think, for the siding. That's something they totally could have done with the set that came out in 2020. Obviously they didn't, but it was something that they could have done, I suppose. For something like a Jango Fett's versus Boba Fett Slave One, it's such a big conversion that you really just need to release an entire separate set. So I don't think something like that works. So I don't know, I'm having a hard time figuring out what works for LEGO Star Wars where you don't need too many pieces, so you're not buying something with a ton of extra stuff, like you're spending $300 on something that would otherwise be $150, you know? But it's an interesting idea, and I really hope it's something we see them implement in the future. I just don't know where. Brian says, do you think LEGO will ever make more of the Star Wars art sets to go with the Sith version from a couple years ago? I'd love to get some Jedi or Bounty Hunters to go with my Vader. Thanks for the great content. Yeah, no problem, Brian. Thank you. Appreciate it. actually, you mentioned Bounty Hunters, made me think Mando. The Mandalorian Disney Plus series art set, I think, would be the most likely thing, just because it's like the most popular Star Wars thing right now. But what I really wanted to say with this, because I really don't think LEGO's going to make more of those Star Wars kits. Part of me thinks they didn't sell well. I think they were on sale for $83 quite commonly, which most of the time LEGO doesn't put things on sale like that. There's an Instagram account that I came across called Lego_KCZD, and they post tons of alternate builds of art sets, and I think it's the best thing we'll be able to get here. Basically, you can go out and buy some of the existing LEGO art sets. They show it very easily, like which ones you need and how many of it. And for example, this Darth Vader, you need 2 of the Batman sets. You can make a really cool looking Darth Vader. Maybe a better example would be the Anakin to go alongside the existing 3 times LEGO Darth Vader, so you can make the 2 side by side. They have some anime ones on here. Better Call Saul. They have Jesse from Breaking Bad. I see Patrick Bateman, but of course, getting back into Star Wars here, a couple that I had wanted to do and still might do are the Cad Bane arts. I think the Cad Bane looks specifically awesome. I think the Thrawn looks amazing, even though it's black hair Thrawn, and I really prefer the Rebel style of Thrawn with the darker blue hair, but it's still Thrawn. It looks sick. We have Bo-Katan. I think that one looks awesome as one of the Mandalorians. We have the Mandalorian. You only need 2 Batman kits to do that. It is a little bit expensive, though. I mean, 2 Batman kits is $240. It's not particularly cheap. We have Grogu made out of the Batman kits. Apparently, you can make a Boba Fett head out of just one of the Batman kits. I mean, there are some awesome options on this Instagram page for tons of different things, so I would highly recommend checking that out. And I'm sure there's other people out there that make custom ones, but basically that'll give you the best idea of things you can do, and they even include the instructions in a lot of their videos that they put out there, that you can just go out, buy the sets you need, and make them right there, and you have something you want. Just a Banana asks, what are your thoughts on the LEGO Fortnite Battle Bus rumor? Oh man, so LEGO Fortnite Battle Bus at $250, I think was the rumor, would be, whew, that would be incredible. I don't play Fortnite, don't really care about it at this point in my life, but I would buy that set day one. I'd be lined up, I'd have a setup to review, I'd make a video about it, I'd be super hyped. Unfortunately, apparently, the rumor is false. Now, the thing with saying a rumor is false, it's the thing I think is kind of funny. You can't know until the time that the rumor says it's going to come out comes to pass, because we don't know that it's actually false until the time passes, right? So anyway, apparently it's false. It could not be, but that's how rumors go, right? So yeah, I would just bet against it happening. I got really excited. I thought it was a legit rumor at first, and it still might be, I guess. But like I said, apparently debunked. And so yeah, the LEGO Fortnite hype train was whew, and then it was whew. Michael says, do LEGO UCS plaques come in different languages depending on region? The answer to this, I believe, is no, because I've never once seen a UCS plaque in a different language, and I would have definitely seen that at this point. So I assume not. However, I question why not. You would think with LEGO and how many different languages they put on their boxes, you would want to have like different languages on the plaques. The only counter to this is like with words like the Razor Crest, like that's not any different in any language probably. I would assume the reason not is because, one, they've just been doing it in English forever and like everyone knows and expects that at this point. Also, LEGO, I believe, only makes 2 different versions of everything they sell. There's the European version and there's the American version. And there's no like, it's not like the iPhone where you have America version, Canada version, the version that goes to Brazil. Like I think there's like different versions of iPhones that go to every country basically. And versus LEGO sets, there's literally 2. And so I just don't think they want to worry about that. As someone that only speaks English, even though I took 3 years of Spanish in high school but barely know a word, yeah, it doesn't affect me, so it's not something I care for. I also don't think I've ever seen anyone ask about it, but then again, the only comments I read online are in English, so I couldn't know that it's a problem. Reef Beef Chief says, do you think your old LEGO videos of dropping LEGO sets would be more successful now, because I've seen a lot of them get a lot of views? So Drop Test is the series that for a long time I kind of looked at as my jumping board when I had like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5,000 subscribers. I was like, yeah, this really helped my channel grow, and that's how I got to where I am, you know, back in 2012, 13, 14, whatever, when I started doing it and was doing it. But it's probably not something I'm ever going to bring back. It would probably do fine and be popular as a YouTube Shorts or TikTok sort of content piece, but there's a couple things or pieces of baggage that come along with it. One, nobody likes seeing people use something they own the way they want to do it. And what I mean by that is people get really upset when you drop your own LEGO sets for views. So those videos generally got more dislikes than really almost anything else I ever uploaded. Like we're talking like 80% like to dislike ratio or high 80s. That's really bad. For a channel like mine, you just don't usually get that. My channel average, I think, is about 98% like to dislike. So having those high 80s is very bad comparably. But then of course, to a degree, I run my channel as a business, and there's the business side of it. So is it, you know, as someone that collects things, first off, when I drop something, I can damage things. Things that have broken or gotten dented or whatever in the past. And so that's something that, you know, I have to go out and replace the piece for because I want to have a really nice collection. And that costs a little bit of money, but that's not really the bulk of it. It's more the time cost of having to rebuild something or build it in the first place if it's just to be drop tested. So currently, like a few sets a month, I basically pay my brother to build, and we have a base rate of whatever half of retail price is. So if we take something like the UCS Star Destroyer, for example, I did a drop test video on it in 2014. The set now would cost $500. And for the lifetime of that drop test video being out, it has made me $251, which in a vacuum sounds great. Making 251 bucks for dropping a Lego set is awesome. Like it's kind of crazy. It really is, right? However, if I had paid my brother to build that because I want to use my time to do something else, whatever, I would have made $1.98 to, like, I don't know, like it just doesn't seem worth it to me. So from like a business perspective, there's that. I also think I just don't think they're great videos. They end up being relatively short. There's really nothing to them from a YouTube perspective of like, all right, welcome to the video. We're doing a drop test. Like that's why I say they would be good as a TikTok or YouTube Shorts type of thing. But that's also not something I really want to do. And those obviously make way less money than even a normal YouTube video. Like that Death Star video made 250 bucks. Maybe if it's a TikTok, it makes $2, you know? That's just how it works. They're shorter videos. So there's that too to keep in mind. Man, I remember being so excited to drop test my UCS Falcon, but yeah, those days are gone. I'm not doing it again, man. Unless I do a fun video like I eventually want to do for the Titanic and something. I don't know, but you know, for a general video that's gonna have a crappy Microsoft Paint thumbnail of drop test with the ship behind it, those days are behind me. Anyway, that is it. Ask Someone episode 240. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.